Hello everyone! I decided to make a tutorial and today I'm gonna teach you how to make a watercolor painting in a style that I've been asked like many times, like, oh, how do you make this? And I cheated a little bit already, but you will find out soon how I did it. I like to find objects that I can paint, and today we're going for this onion flower. I think it's very pretty. What I'm gonna start with, like, I have this piece of paper. It's pretty thick paper, like 300 grams, but it can be less as well, just as long as it's meant for watercolor. And I'm gonna sketch out what I am intending to draw, so I will just get back to you in a moment. So here's my sketch, and as you can see, it's not that detailed, but it's like to get an idea of like what I want to do. So here we have the next step. This is like some water. This is a brush. Here are the colors. As you can see, I've used it a lot of times. And what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna make this a bit wet. And then I think I'm gonna go for this kind of green. Paint it here. And now I'm gonna make it a bit wet to like clean out the color that we used. I'm gonna go for the purple part. So as you see, there is no literal purple here, but I found out like the best color combination, at least for this, is like this blue and this red, and I use this for mixing colors. So this is gonna be purple of today, and since it's like very light and these colors are very strong, we want to make it out like very brush look. So we're gonna add, like, first of all, a lot of water here. I think now I'm gonna add this blue here, this, maybe this red. And as you can see, this is looking pretty reddish, and I want it to have a bit more like blues. So this one has a bit more blue feel to it. A bit more blue. And I think now what happened is like it became a bit too strong, so we want to add a bit more water. Okay, I think it's ready, so let's make a test. I'm gonna draw some of the flowers here. So maybe this is a good flower to start with. Oh, I think I may even made it a bit like too light, so I think I'm gonna add a bit more color to this. Still going for the blue. So we're gonna make like the flower thingies here. And as you see, like on our thing here, like the ones that are a bit more to the front, they're a bit bigger. So we're gonna make those ones a bit bigger. They could be like a bit bigger here. I like to exaggerate a lot. And see, still following the shape. The ones that are from the side are gonna be a bit more like this. It could be like the things sticking out from it. I see like this part here. Okay, I will get back to you once I've finished this. I'm back and I've painted all of these ones. And as you can see, this one is a bit smaller than this. We're going to be giving the illusion that this is like more to the front and this is more to the back. I think I like to have a bit more play. These are looking very even. I'm gonna add like a little bit more color to some of them. So I picked like the blue here, and I'm gonna add a bit more blue like this here. Maybe here as well, or here. Maybe some of the thingies. I think this is starting to look a bit like too even, and I want it to look a bit more random actually. I'm gonna paint something like this as well here, at least this one. I have to be very careful what I do here, because if I ruin any of the splashes, it's gonna turn into just one blob. I think this green part, it's looking okay, but I still want it to be more green. So I'm gonna wash this pencil again, and a bit more of this green color, and paint it a bit more green. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good, I would say. Now we have to wait for it to dry. When I said in the beginning that I cheated, this is what I meant, because I already made another sketch. So we're gonna paint a bit more on this one. It's pretty much the same as what we just made. So there's this green part and then there's like all the purple flowers in the top. The next step is actually to do like some line art, and I'm using these ones from Staedtler, but you can use any, and I have like a few more over here and they have different thickness. So what I like to start with is the thinnest, and this one is 0.05. I'm gonna sketch out like the different strokes. So we have one that goes a bit down here. Yeah, and we say like this is the center here, so all of them are gonna go from there. This part is like invisible, at least for now, and they're gonna all gather here. Yeah, it just continues like more or less like this, so be right back. I feel like I finished this thing now, at least this part. We're gonna continue with a slightly thicker one. So I'm gonna draw this part here, like outline it. Now I'm thinking to outline some of the flowers, but not too much because I want them to have like this like very light look. As you see, like the flowers, they're so light and fine, so we don't really want to ruin that, but we can still add some details like these thingies here. Switching back to the 0.51. So I'm thinking this is starting to look pretty good. As you see, like I didn't outline like the whole part, but like just some parts that are sticking out like this. And then the seeds, I guess it's called. And then I'm thinking to add one last detail with the liner. And I think I'm gonna use the 0.3 in this case. And I'm thinking like to add like some details like in the middle of the flowers here. So here you can see that I added this roundish shape in the middle. As you can see here, the lines are a bit thicker than here, for instance. That's because I want to give the illusion that these ones are a bit closer than these. Yeah, and I'm trying to imitate like this thing in the middle. Accidentally, I drew like, smileys, which was not intentional at all. Like this one looks so cute right now. So the next part is that I am gonna use some markers to color some more things here. And what I like having is like paper where I can test the colors in case if I'm making up like some new idea or something. So I picked out like some shades of green and purple and blue. I'm gonna try this green here to see if it fits. These ones are from Copic, and you don't have to purchase these ones to make something like this. You can just buy any marker, but I really like these ones. You can have like a two sides if you want to draw something more thin like this. Oh, they can do really tiny pieces. And if you want to draw more thicker ones, then it's like this. So this green looks like this, and what I want to do is like get as close to this green as possible. And I think this one is not quite it. I think this one might be better. Yeah, I think it works. This, and I'm thinking for the shades to use a bit like darker green. Alright, let's get to it. I'm gonna start with the green that I picked out in the beginning, and you see there's like this part missing here that is not green, so I'm gonna paint it green. You see in our flower here, like this part is also green. I'm gonna add like a bit green to these lines here, but not like too much, just a bit to some of them. I'm looking a lot at the reference, which you can see in the picture, but it's right here, and trying to just look like how it looks then, and if it corresponds with like what I'm intending to make. And this is how it's looking. So I think now I'm gonna start with the purple-ish. I'm thinking to add it like to the background because we don't have like anything here behind it. But if you see this thing, there's actually something behind this one here, for instance. So what I'm gonna do now is like try to imitate that. This is how it's looking with background flowers, so to say. You see, so I added like these splashes here. And I think I'm gonna continue to add like some shade in some places. I think this one here could use some shade, for instance. It's the shade. And this is how it's looking with the shade. I'm thinking this thing here that I still haven't figured out what it's called also needs like some shade. And I'm pretending that there's like sun is coming from this direction, so when there's no sun, like there's a bit more shade from this direction. So this is why we have the shade on this side here overall. So shade is gonna be here on this side as well. Yeah, so now it has like a bit like kind of hints that there is a shade here. I added some of this darker green in these places as well. Yeah, to create some play with this thing. As you see like on the original one, if we see like this, the right side is a bit darker than the left side. And now I want to do like this part in the middle. I think not with this green, but the other green to imitate like this part here. And I'm thinking like to be really careful when I make this. Now I added this thing in the middle. Do I want more details? I think yes, because we still need connection from these black dots to the thing. I'm thinking I'm gonna use this one, which was like a bit darker, and just be like really careful about what I do. So this is how it's looking as for now. You see I added like the tiny drops here. We don't need more of these ones, so I'm gonna move to the next step. The next step is these acrylic markers. I have ones from Posca, but you can just use any acrylic markers really. I chose green, white and purple because this is like our theme. I really like the white one. I think that's the one that I'm using the most. It's just hard with brushes and markers with watercolor to paint lights on top of darker things. And this is like where this one comes in handy. And I have like the really tiny ones, so you can make like really small details. Starting with the whites. I think this white thing really brightens up like everything. They just look so cute, I think. And I'm gonna proceed with the other two colors just to add like a tiny bit more detail. And this is how it's looking. I think it became so cute, and even if it was not intentional, I still really like these small smiley faces here. Yeah, this is how it's all looking with all the tiny details. And the other sketch is still drying, and I can tell you this took me, I think, a bit more than half an hour to make. I hope that you learned something from this tutorial and that it was interesting. And please, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. And remember to like and subscribe. See you!